Greetings and salutations, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well, and welcome back to tonight's second half. Before we jump into tonight's second half, a couple links. As you know, I rely on Patreon, PayPal, and my merch to help the channel to continue to grow and go. The links to Patreon and PayPal are in the description below. Merch is displayed directly under the video. Also, Dogman Frightening Encounters Volume 1 through 3, the audiobook versions. They were written and researched by Tom Lyons, narrated and produced by me, Jeff Nadolny. Those audiobooks are available on Audible, Amazon, and iTunes, the links to which are also in the description as well. And finally, last but definitely not least, if you'd really like to help support this channel to continue to grow and go, simply subscribe. It does not cost you a cent. Click that like button, it takes half a second, and please leave a comment. Why? Well, because all these things, they really do help, and guys, they definitely matter. Now, everyone, I have taken far too much of your time. Let's get on with tonight's second half, shall we? Today's first subscriber Dogman encounter is brought to us by a new subscriber named Lovely Cryptid. It also comes to us from Louisiana. When I was 7 or 8 years old, I took dance classes that sometimes ran into early night. My parents had picked me up, and we were going about 60 to 70 miles an hour on the highway in my dad's truck. There weren't many cars on the road. I was in the back seat, right side, watching the shadows from the streetlights. I was bored in counting how many street lamps there were based on their shadows, since the lamps were on the left-hand side. After one lamp, a shadow appeared of a dog-like creature on all fours. It had dog-like ears, but almost looked like what a person would look like on all fours. I remember being scared as it looked quite large, and I was worried because I didn't know how it was keeping up with us. I tried looking directly back at it through the back window, but the bed of the truck blocked everything. It must have been really close. I'm not sure why I didn't tell my parents. I think it was because I didn't want to take my eyes off of it. Anyway, I could see its running shadow pass by every lamppost shadow, until at one point it was like it just ran behind a lamppost and vanished. Today's second Dogman encounter. I was in a car at night on my way home with my mom about 5 years ago. We were on a dark road and something ran in front of us, causing my mom to slow down quickly. The thing was running on 4 long limbs and was not a fox or a dog, as it didn't look like it had fur. It looked like a human, but really long arms and legs, but it was running so fast it was almost like a blur. My mom doesn't believe in ghosts or creatures or aliens, but even she was seriously freaked out. We talked about it every now and then, and we both agree it was one of the most spookiest things we had ever experienced. Today's third Dogman subscriber encounter was brought to us by our friend from Mexico, the gentleman who had the encounter with the reptile boy. Okay, this happened with good friends of my dad, husband and wife, 2009. First, once a year, the government of Mexico has this regularization program for foreign vehicles to make it legal to drive in Mexico. So this program was going to take place by a lake about 45 minutes from town. By the lake because hundreds of people go, so this way all the traffic won't affect the town. And they wanted to make their truck legal, so they packed lunch for the long day. They spent all day by the lake, and they got their truck paperwork fixed. So on their way back to their house, it was already dark, and when they reached a curve called Federal Curve, called that because a federal agent died in a car accident on this road. This curve is famous because many people have died in car accidents on this curve. Right by the curve crossing from right to left saw this creature. In their words, El Hombre Lobo. They had to slow down because this thing was taking its time to cross. Now this thing didn't turn its head to face them. They noticed a really long snout, huge head with long ears like a Labrador dog. Also, exaggeratedly long forearms, all body covered in gray fur and massive shoulders. It was on 2 legs. the legs bent backwards like a dog, and jogging in a very particular way. Not pumping the arms like a person, but keeping the arms steady, like in a 45-degree angle position. And the weird part is it was wearing some kind of cloth. Standing over 2 meters tall, it kept its way into the bushes and to the other side of the road. When they told my dad, they were afraid of being ridiculed. Today's fourth encounter is not a subscriber encounter, but I sure felt it damn strange and wanted to share it with you. Working 30 years as a police officer, I've seen lots of weird and paranormal stuff that can't be explained. There are many caves along the Rio Grande River that have not been explored. There are also a lot of irrigation channels that are unkempt. These channels are strategically placed throughout the valley along the border in case Falcon Dam or Alzadaus Dam overflows. Inside these channels are huge underground man-made ducts that look like apartments. Some have 12-foot ceilings, and some have tunnels that lead to other rooms. I guess this would sort out the water overflow to different channels. I saw several dead bodies, some decapitated, some bound, and some partially eaten by an unknown type of wildlife. It did not reach the media, but at one time there were about 12 homicides. Same M.O., bound from feet upside down from trees, degutted, intestine, heart, liver, stomach, set aside in a circle like ritual. They were supposedly transgendered, but some of these corpses didn't look human, and some were found by exploring kids inside these ducts. I could have sworn the one I saw on Charamon on Shrey Road had broken off wings. This happened in the late 80s. I wish I had pictures to show, but yeah, it may have been a humanoid or a gargoyle offspring. I once saw one that leapt 30 feet across the road on all fours, then stood up like a man. It was slender, hairy, and about 5 feet tall. It stared at me as I was in my police car. I stepped out and kept it at gunpoint for a few seconds. I didn't know what it was. It resembled a human, but leapt like a cat. It then jumped about 20 feet into a tree. I was a rookie in '87 and chased it. I tracked and found its foot sign. It was like a human, elongated foot with paws. The sighting was on Sherbach Road, south of the 2 Mile Road, Mission, Texas. Crazy enough, I saw another one near the Roma Bluff. I was on special assignment with the La Migra Border Patrol, hunkered down with my M4. I had to piss. I found an isolated spot. It was uphill on a boulder, just upriver from Roma Port of Entry. I thought my piss was falling on a garden hose. The hose then moved away. It scared the crap out of me. I swung out my M4. I've been waiting for dope crossing, but this was too weird. As I hand-motioned my partner to watch my 12 while I went down to look, the same frickin' type of human-like cat creature peeked out from behind a boulder. It was 10 feet in front of me. I froze, but I yelled at it, "Get down, asshole!" It didn't respond, but then stared at me, looked away, then leapt 30 feet high into the brush. Of course, I chased after it, but my partner saw it as well. We called our team downslope to be on the lookout. As soon as we called them, it ran past them. They couldn't make out its face, but it was the same creature. Yes, I believe there are some supernatural creatures out there. They are very real. But you just gotta be there at the right place to see them. Today's fifth Dogman encounter is a subscriber encounter. It was shared through the comment section. I reached out to him. He responded back and has not responded since. I'm going to share this with you guys. You guys can read it, but he has also shared his ex-wife's encounter with us a while ago. I'm not going to share his name because if you guys are interested, you guys can find it in the comments. After I narrate his encounter, I will share what else he said and why I'm a little bit nervous. Hey Jeff, I think I know why I'm so obsessed with the Dogman. I was speaking on the phone with my mom, and she reminded me that when I was 9, I had come home crying and shaking, and all I could say is a werewolf had chased me. Suddenly, I remembered what happened to me on that day. I was walking down the main road in this small town that I still live in to this day at the age of 42, and I came to a place where there was, and still is, woods on each side of the road when suddenly a giant black animal came out of the woods and ran towards me. It didn't attack me or try to attack. It came out of the woods on all fours, and it was taller than me. I was short, but still probably 4 foot tall at 9 years old. I'm not positive what it was, but something made me think it was a werewolf, and I think it possibly went on 2 legs as it continued across the road into the woods on the opposite side of the road. I can picture its face perfectly, but not its body. I can see it when I close my eyes and think on the event that I cannot believe I had forgotten about this, possibly blocked it out. Because that memory is so sharp in my mind now. It was huge, jet black, and had tall, pointed ears, and it scared me to the point that I pissed myself. I can remember it looked out from the brush, and it did not look friendly or happy to see me. It looked out off the brush and came charging at me. Once it came out of the woods, there's this huge ditch that it had to cross before it got to the other side of the road where I was standing. I can't remember its body as it crossed the ditch, but my mom said that I told her that it ran out of the woods and jumped over the top of me and kept going. She said that I've been obsessed with werewolves ever since that day, and that I went to the library the next school day and borrowed a book called Meet the Werewolf. I remember that book and reading about different ways to become a werewolf, such as drinking from a wolf's paw print and or putting on a special cloak made from wolf's pelt. You are the only one that I've told, but I'm positive that I had a Dogman encounter in the 80s.
Alright guys, just a little update on that last subscriber submitted experience. He said he was going to go back. That was about 2.5 years ago. I have not had an email response from him since. I don't know if he had another encounter that frightened him so much that he didn't want to talk about it anymore or not. I have sent him emails asking, how's it going? Are you okay? So on and so forth. His YouTube account kind of isn't there anymore. You know how we all have like our distinguishing YouTube name or whatnot. I've tried to look him up on multiple different things, and it's almost like he went there that day and, like I said, either saw something that scared him so bad or he saw something and didn't come back from the trip. I don't know. But it was real strange, and it still does bother me because he was definitely a super nice guy. So with that, my friends, please, everyone, stay safe. Stay happy, stay healthy. Thank you for all your support. Also, when you're in the woods, be hyper vigilant of your surroundings. I went out to where Tom Mezek disappeared today. That video will be up tomorrow. Very strange. But with that, guys, have a good night. God bless.